Alright. Now I need to retweet some stuff. That guy, and that guy, and that guy. Retweet. Okay. Alright. Hopefully we'll have some peeps join us this time. Hey, we already have someone. Hey! Hi to everyone in chat. Yay!
Hi, Renning.
Oh, cool. Let's try not to be the negative Nancy. It'd be like, is it one of us?
No. Well, I am in there, but...
Is it one of those podcast people?
Yeah.
Alrighty. You guys have your what you've been playing?
I do.
Yep.
Are you ready to kick this pig, as the kids say?
Yep.
I don't know if anyone actually says that
I
anymore.
don't think anybody says that.
Just me.
Don't think anyone has ever said that.
Probably not. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels. I'm your host, Boston. Over there is Musim.
Hey.
And over there's Mina.
Hello.
Hey, I don't think I have anything to talk about at the beginning, so let's get into what you've been playing, Musim.
Okay. As per usual, I've played several games, very little. I don't know. I got really burnt out on video games this month, so there's probably a couple weeks in there I didn't play anything.
Man, I kind of did too, but I think it's good since the new consoles are coming out,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I needed a breather.
Yeah. But
Look at
Mina,
all the games coming out this week. You guys
oh, yeah.
better be playing something.
Man, I accidentally, I opened a package the other day, and the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker showed up. I
Oh, nice.
didn't even know I pre-ordered that. I don't have a Wii U. I have a problem, apparently.
That's funny. I was about to ask that.
Yeah, nope.
So I started off playing a little bit more Shining Force Gaiden. And the sword I'm after is called the Sword of Haya. Wonderful translation. Like, there is a J in there, but, like, it's Hijya. I mean, come on. It's Haya. They're being dumb. I played a little bit more, and it finally hit me what this game is missing. Like, most Shining Forces, you have, like, an overworld map where you'll travel to a city, and you have a home base in each city that you can talk to all your team members. And this one doesn't have that. You just go straight from battle to battle, and whenever you want to go to base, you just cast egress during the battle, and it takes you to a black screen with a menu on it, and you can do basey things there.
Weak.
Extremely. Can't talk to any characters or anything there. It's lame.
Man.
The centaurs in that game have a huge advantage because they can use javelins, and they have better movement than every other unit on the field, so they're several levels ahead of everyone. I don't know. But that was a few weeks ago. I probably need to get back to it, but I've been slacking.
Sounds like the chances are pretty slim that you're gonna keep playing much more of that, though.
Yeah, it doesn't... Like, Shining Force 1 and 2 have that, at least, nostalgia beat for me to get in, where I'm like, ooh, I'm almost to this part.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't have that at all.
Yeah.
And it's not challenging whatsoever, and there's just really not a whole lot of reason to play it seems like.
Yeah.
Let's see, I also played a little bit more Shadowrun Returns. I got to the last level, and I have not started playing the last level because the last level is a very large bee. It's like, I don't even think there's any hacking on the last level. It's just so long. Like, it takes several hours to get through.
Oh, man.
It's 3 or 4 maps you have to get through, and all the enemy setups.
Whoop.
Yep.
Oh.
I think we lost him.
Museum, come back.
No.
No. Okay. Oh, now he's proper gone. Please hold on while we experience technical difficulties. You're running S in chat. Meow. That's our 18-year-old cat who is just the most ornery cat ever. She doesn't like closed doors, so as soon as I close doors for the show, she starts trying to open them while she's howling. Good thing I like cats.
I have a cat that is needs to be in the same room as me,
Oh
but
yeah.
he doesn't make a sound if he can come in. So
It's like a
if
little
I close
ninja.
the door, it would just be yowling and yowling, and we'd never be able to record anything. Oh,
Oh man.
he's completely gone.
Musim, no.
Yeah. I can talk about something that I found just like a couple hours ago.
Sure.
All right. So, I was totally. Oh, is John coming back?
I don't think so.
It looks like he's
I don't know.
trying to
He's
call
trying.
in.
Yeah, we'll just have a chat here while he's
Okay.
coming back in.
So, for the first time ever, well, not the first time ever, but first time in a long time, have I found a Kotaku article that I actually really, really, really like.
Ooh, okay. I like
And
the sound of
I'm gonna drop it in the chat right now, but I'll also link it inside in the forums.
Oh yeah, I haven't read this article yet. It seems pretty interesting.
It is really interesting from the perspective of somebody who's like, always waiting for a JRPG, and you're like, why is it taking so long?
Why is it taking 3 years?
It's been years. Why can't we have this game? And once you start reading into like what they have to go through in order to translate some of these games, it's really interesting. Like a lot of things that you don't think about. I mean, I've had 3-4 years of Japanese, so even though I understand like a lot of the concepts in translating, I didn't realize how much effort actually needs to go into it, because a lot of times they could translate exactly what they read, and then once they pull open the game and start looking at the characters and the interactions, they realize, oh wait a minute, we don't know the difference between a plural and a singular, but now that we're looking at this visual, holy smokes, there's actually more of these than we thought that we were translating for.
Right.
So it's really interesting in that you really get to understand how the whole translating process goes. And this is an article from Xseed, so it's Xseed's one of my favorite companies when it comes to this. So
yeah, they do a really great job, and been putting out so many games lately. It's incredible.
I know, and once I read through this article, I got a better appreciation for what the translation teams have to go through.
So for those of you that are watching the archive stream here, the title of the Kotaku article is "Getting JRPGs Out in English is Harder Than You Think." Yeah, I'd saved this, but I hadn't really yet read into it.
It's really good. And I normally don't like Kotaku articles, but this one is really, really good, and I've read through the entire thing. So
Wow.
it's actually talking about the latest game that came out, Rune Factory 4, which I'll talk about during my segment. But I was just pretty impressed with it.
Musim says that his internet went out. He's rebooting stuff real quick, so
no problem.
Should be back here in a minute. I'll be right back.
All right. I think the difference between localizing a game like Pokemon versus other games is just the staff ability and just the amount of people they've got on hand to do something like that. So that's why they're able to do a world launch. I mean, they did the same thing with Final Fantasy 14. Or was the European just a couple days short? But it was basically the same day. Remove him. Just so that way there's not dead air. I apologize if I mute myself or cough during this entire thing, because I have been sick for 3 weeks now, and I've just gotten over the laryngitis, so hoping my voice is like gonna stay this tone at least throughout the entire podcast. And I'm drinking lots and lots of warm tea, so. I want to play Pokemon so bad.
Okie dokie. Let's see if... Oh, Isim's back.
Okay.
Yay!
Yay! I can't see. There you are.
Yeah,
right.
so I'm just going to leave everything else on my computer off. I've left it recording this whole time.
Oh, okay.
Man. Okay.
Super weird. Okay, I don't remember what we were talking about.
Oh, what were you talking about?
Let me get my list out.
Oh, Shadowrun.
Yeah, you were. That's
Yeah.
exactly where you were at.
Okay.
Alright, let me count us back in, and I'll do a quick disclaimer here. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're back from some technical difficulties because it's a podcast, and we always have them for some reason.
Yay! Alright.
Alright, we were talking about Shadowrun Returns.
Yeah. So that last level is not fun. Leading up to the last level is kind of cool, but it's again, don't be a punchy character in that game.
Yeah.
But let's see. I don't know. I need to beat it again with the Save Game Plus thing before the new DLC comes out here. And
Yeah.
heck, is it due out this month or is it due out in November?
November, I think. I think they pushed it back a month.
Yeah. Okay. So then I played some more Dragon's Crown. I played a bit more with Susie, which is my elf character. And now that I'm kind of learning the controls and stuff, it's a lot more fascinating game because like before on the elf character, you know, she uses a bow and arrow. And one of the skill tree sets is like to get a knife, and you're like, why would I want a knife? A bow and arrow.
Yeah. Oh no.
Are we losing him again?
No.
Poor Musim.
Oh,
There he
you're
is.
back. Oh no.
Okay. No!
Ah.
He's there, and then he's gone.
Damn
and
you,
then he's
Skype.
there.
Okay.
All right.
Back again. So this is
we
horrible.
Yeah. Oh, yay, internet.
What else can I turn off to freaking make whatever the heck's going wrong with my bandwidth settle down? Oh well. Anyway, so Dragon's Crown, right?
Yes.
So the ranger, she like the knife is equipped like an item, like a healing potion or something. And it comes in really handy whenever you run out of arrows. But you only get to use it X amount of times during the level. But you can get skill sets that'll add like poison onto both your bow and knife, which is pretty sweet. And she gets like this giant whirlwind thing that she can do in place of her block, which is kind of awesome.
Jeez. I'm glad I picked the elf.
And that power just gets like bigger and bigger. Like I upgraded it recently, and I only got to do it once, but whatever it was took up most of the screen, and it was kind of awesome.
Wow.
It reminded me of Golden Axe, how when you get like 5 or 6 potions, your character does like an extra special magic thing.
Yeah. Man, I need to play more of that game. I played my girlfriend and I played, I think maybe an hour. We really enjoyed it, but we haven't gotten back to it since.
It's a hard game to play for multiple hours at a time. I think.
Yeah.
Especially like it really helps to have someone else there, I think. But when you're by yourself, it's really difficult. Like I played a little bit more on the Amazon, and got her a skill that I wasn't really quite like. I got it. It sounded really dumb to me. I thought it said that I would summon clones to attack people, and I was like, well, that sounds.
Yeah, that sounds a little.
Like she's a huge muscular woman. Like, does she really need that help? But what it really means is she gets like these red cloney trail things behind her, so when she hits someone, she hits like 3 to 4 times.
Oh wow.
So
that's a lot more useful.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. If you can get past the obvious with her. And then because I was sick of video games and just didn't want to put any work to anything, I started playing Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition for PC.
Oh no.
Yeah. Man, I've gone back down the Dark Souls rabbit hole. The PC, though, was... I know there have been a lot of positive things said about the PC and its mods, and I'm here to disagree with almost all of them. Like, I downloaded the app, or not that, the initial DS Fix mod that...
the very famous DS Fix mod.
Yeah, let you go 1080p and unlock the frame rate, but unfortunately, unlocking the frame rate doesn't really work for hardly anyone.
Oh, really? Is it stuck at 30?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not so
I
bad.
believe so. Yeah, it's not terrible, but it does slow down quite a bit at times.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And the animation cycles get off, which in that game is huge.
It will be the reason you die.
Exactly. You'll freaking parry a blow and you won't realize it because they won't give you the enemy animation. Like the sound will go off, but the
No.
Oh,
there we go.
This is going to be a difficult one, isn't it? Man, I'm trying to think of what else I downloaded. The particle effects on PC look really weird compared to PS3.
That's surprising.
I don't know why. Like it's like they're just completely. I don't know. It's like they didn't even try to really make them look the same. But I did download one mod that kept me playing the PC version for about 3 hours, and that is the Thanks Obama mod.
Oh no.
Every time you die, instead of saying you died, it says Thanks Obama.
Oh my gosh.
All right, that's pretty good.
It's I can't tell you how many times I would die, start to get angry, and then that comes up, and I'm like, I'm not mad at you.
All right, that's pretty good. Oh man.
It's like you concentrate so hard on that game, it's easy to forget about.
Yeah.
But the character I did is I rolled up a thief who gets a key to open up a bunch of extra doors to get extra items. And I was playing her with a sword and shield combo. Which I played Demon Souls with a spear and shield combo.
I think that's what
which is
I
kind of
with.
It's the safest.
Yeah.
Because you can keep your shield up while you stab.
Yeah.
And the sword is entirely about parrying, which I'm not particularly great at. But the swords look so freaking awesome. But anyway, I got to, I think the dragonflies over the bridge to actually get to... No, that's right. I got to the first boss, that Minotaur thing on the bridge. And I can't remember. I died a time or two on that and realized I needed to grind. And so I went back to my PS3 version where I have a level 20 character.
You've already done all that nonsense.
Yes. I am. That character is right before the Bell Guardians, the Bell Gargoyles. Um, and that character's a pyromancer, which
Ooh.
pyromancy is kind of freaking awesome. Like I only have one spell, but that one spell like almost entirely kills most enemies I run into.
Oh wow.
It takes a little bit to get off, but I'm using the pyromancy with a spear as an alternate weapon, and I think I have a knight's shield right now. Um,
So pretty much nothing can stop you at that point.
Well, except those bell guardians, because I still haven't beaten them.
And I guess
Right.
except for falling off cliffs, which is
Yeah.
always my problem.
Yeah.
Oh, can I go over there? Well, nope.
Yeah. And they have some of those cliffs where you can fall down and get something extra special.
Yeah.
Of course, the worst is when you find a secret area and then realize your character can't hold any more weight.
Oh yeah, and you're like, well, all this stuff is pretty sweet, but
Yeah. Yep. I forgot this game had a crafting system in it.
Oh.
Yeah, like I'm still not 100% on it. Like I think it's good. It's like I think in Demon Souls it was like okay, you have a winged spear. You level up to a +4 and then you transfer it over to this type of spear.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you go beyond +4, then you won't be able to change it to that spear. I don't know how to change it to different types of spears in this one, so I'm hoping I'm not screwing everything up by upgrading my spear.
Right.
But right now I think I have like a winged spear +3 or 4 or something like that. And I can't remember, the night shield's like +2. Like I like it in that I just stumbled on it. Like I killed a guy and he dropped titanium or titanidite or something like that. It's a T word.
some sort of fantasy mineral.
Yes, there's a T at the beginning and it ends in like ite or dite
or Ron or something.
But luckily, I guess I was right by a blacksmith. And by the way, it takes forever to freaking find a blacksmith in that game.
Oh man.
Like I don't think you meet your first one until many hours in.
Wasn't the problem with Demon Souls 2 where it was like 2-1 or 2-2 had the blacksmith and you had to go find him? You could go down one of those elevator things.
God, I
Was that
can't
it?
even.
I don't even remember. It's been so long since I played that.
I remember there was only one blacksmith in Demon Souls that would do the magical weapons.
Yeah, that's it.
And he was in that 2-1 thing where you had to fall down that elevator shaft.
Yeah. Oh man, that was the worst.
Yeah. Like you had to upgrade, I think, your agility or something like that so you could take the fall.
Yeah.
Or you had to... I can't remember if the elevator started out activated or not.
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
I think I remember. That's what I remember from Demon Souls the most, where it's, oh yeah, there's totally a shortcut in this level, except you have to get all the way to the end, and sometimes maybe beat the boss, and then you can flick one switch, and then that level's really short.
Pretty much. I will say one thing that's really nice about where my character is in Dark Souls. It literally takes me 5 minutes to get the boss. Which I didn't. To me, that's super nice of them to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's very little effort. I kill 3 of these little skeletons. I kill one larger aggressive skeleton knight guy, and then I kill a horde of whatever guys that only take 1 hit to kill, and I'm there.
Huh.
And I fought him like 3 times in 15 minutes. Am I gone again?
Nope, you're back.
Oh.
Nothing happened. Everything's fine.
Oh man. But yeah, I really like Demon Souls or Dark Souls, both of them, whatever. So I'll probably see about finishing that out. I went ahead and downloaded the TVGP Game of the Month, Knights of the Old Republic on iOS.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't really get anywhere in it because I got to that character screen and I'm like, oh right, I know nothing about these stats and skill sets anymore.
Oh yeah.
And then spent like a half hour reading online about it, and then I was like, screw it, we'll go with Scoundrel and see what happens. I have some skills. I'm not really quite sure if I should be both investing in melee and guns. We will find out.
I don't even remember. I think I just focused on guns mostly.
Yeah, I don't know. my hope is I go Scoundrel, and then I go that Jedi class that gets lots of Jedi skills, and then I'll just be a magic guy in the back or something.
Let HK-47 take care of it all.
Yeah, pretty much. So I am nowhere in that game. I'm not even out of the intro. Like the controls on the iPad are done really well. I'm trying to think of something distinct I could even say about the controls on it, but they really did put a lot of effort into making that work with a touch screen.
Nice. I was curious about that because how expensive it is. It's less than $10, right?
Well, it's $9.99.
Oh well. So
yeah.
it is $10.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty good platform, pretty good price for playing that. Does it have any sort of quick save function? Like.
Yep.
Nice.
They have a button at the top that you can press at any point and it'll save.
Does it look like a floppy disk?
I don't remember.
Curses.
No, I don't have that.
I always really like that save icons are still floppy disks.
I enjoy that.
Makes me feel a little better.
I'm curious, does it run pretty well on the iPad? Any problems?
No, it's really smooth so far. My only problem is I keep tapping the screen when I shouldn't and skipping cutscenes.
Oh.
It is nice, like when they give you the conversation options, they have a very large 1 and 2 on the side of the screen for you to select your conversation option.
Oh, cool.
So you don't have to worry about getting that minuscule text.
Yeah. That's actually very nice.
Yeah. It's you move how you'd kind of think you would. You swipe up and it'll start going up, and they have a little pause button in the bottom left-hand corner. It adapted the touch screen way better than I ever thought it would.
Yeah, it sounds like it just makes sense.
Yeah, it's if anyone's hesitant about it, I think it's excellent on iPad so far. But then again, I'm not even out of the first level, so
so far so good though.
Yeah, I have plenty of time to be wrong, but I look forward to playing more of that. But like most old Infinity Engine style RPGs, that game wants a lot of your attention.
Yeah.
And when I have an iPad in my hands, I really want to watch a TV show or a movie with it, and that does not work out.
Are you like laying in bed half asleep?
Yeah. And this being like old D&D rules, it's all super complex. But I haven't died yet, and I've killed everything I've come across. I'm still with blonde-haired guy waiting for him to die and exchange him out for Karth.
KOTOR's Caden. Oh no, Karth is Caden.
Yeah. Isn't that his name, Karth?
Karth?
His name's Karth.
Karth.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I hate Karth.
Yeah. I hate Karth and I love Caden, and
I'm so torn.
I hate him so much.
I love to hate him though. Oh, he's so bad.
I will say Caden's a lot more bearable in Mass Effect.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, they're basically the same character.
Yeah. I never would have made the connection that they were the same. Oh, we lost Musa again.
Crap.
No, we can still hear you. We're good.
Your screen is just frozen. It's fine. I didn't play KOTOR until after I had already beaten Mass Effect, and so like I didn't see the similarities until Mass Effect 2 when Caden goes like 180 on you and just has this weird personality freak out with you at the first scene, and I was like, oh my god, your card!
What have I done?
Yeah, Karth's just that nice guy who has a moment where he wants to be dark, and he's really bad at being dark.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's all I've been playing.
All right, Mina, what have you been playing?
I guess I'll start with KOTOR since that's where Musa left off. I didn't play that much of it, but I did get to the first, whatever that place is called. What is that place called? Your hideout.
I don't remember.
I can't even remember the first city. Yeah, and I did this like 3-4 days ago. Anyways, I got all the way there. And the reason why I didn't get so far was because of how many issues I was encountering trying to make this game compatible with my PC.
Yeah, people in the forums have had a lot of problems, and I thought they patched a lot of this stuff before.
Yeah, so I should, if people are still having problems, I should probably post my fix in there because I had to disabled cutscenes. I also activated something on the VSync.
Oh, yeah.
You really need to activate that VSync. It fixed the majority of the problems.
Weird.
But yeah, this was after like I was diving through forums, like trying to figure out how to make this thing work. I was like this close to just being like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy that iPad version and just, forget this because at least I know that's going to work.
Yeah, I think it's available on Games on Demand on the 360 as well.
That'd probably work too because at least you don't have to worry about your computer, which, though it may be one of the best computers people have ever seen, just not being able to run the game.
Yeah.
So, didn't get very far. I'm doing the opposite of Newsom is doing, and I'm not doing ranged at all. I'm going full soldier, full sword swinging,
full on cutting dudes.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my goal.
One-handed or two?
I think I'm gonna go 2.
There you go. You can this in the first one you can get double-ended lightsabers, right?
Yeah, I think that might be what
that's
I
the good
might
stuff.
go for. I think I might also be dark side too. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. So if you go like nice guy, we'll be polar opposites.
Yeah, you can compare notes.
So I didn't play much of that game. Moving on real quickly, I also played Final Fantasy 14. I'll skip that. There's new stuff coming out. Probably more stuff to talk about next month.
Still enjoying it though?
I really love that game. for an MMO, I really, really love it.
Yeah.
And they've done enough to it where like if a new friend jumps in and they're like, "Hey, I'm playing this game. I want to do the story." And you're a level 50, you still feel there's benefits in helping other people.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like, oh, I have to slug through this level 20 dungeon with a friend.
Yeah, just like dragging them along.
Again. Yeah, no, and the dungeons are a lot of fun, so that's also helps. So the first game I actually played this month after we got done was SMT4. I got a demon that could cast Bufu, which was how I beat that boss, the chimera-looking one, and I just Bufu spammed until I won.
That's so pro tip. That's pretty much the rest of the game is Bufu spam.
Yeah.
A surprising amount of enemies are weak to ice.
Yeah. I have a problem with that game where when I go to buy new armor, I stare at the armor for like, I don't know how long, just debating on like, okay, if I get this, then I'm gonna be weak to that, and then I start running through my head all the demons.
But it looks so much cooler.
So much, is it? I don't know. So I'm sitting there like arguing with myself and looking at armor. Let's see. I've picked some choices.
Mm-hmm.
Still have no idea what choices I'm leaning towards or what's going on. I have a feeling though that I am more chaotic just by picking my natural go-to choices.
Right. Who are you agreeing with?
It seems like I'm agreeing with the what's his name?
Poofy-haired one or the
not Poofy.
Oh, the cool guy.
The cool-looking guy.
Yeah.
He seems to agree with me a lot more. Like when we had to run into my old town, the choice I made there definitely made him a lot happier than the other guy.
Yeah.
So
I felt like that a lot with SMT4, where I'd make a choice and I'm like, everybody's gonna choose this, right? And then I think Jonathan's the poofy-haired one. He'd be like, well, I don't think that's the right choice. I was like,
Walter and Jonathan.
Yeah, Walter and Jonathan. There we go.
It came to me.
Yeah, sometimes you'll make a choice and he'll be like, oh, I don't think that was the correct one. I was like, wait, what? Why not?
I was kind of like, in my mind, the choice that I had to make there without spoiling it,
mm-hmm.
I took it in my head and I thought to myself, okay, I can either let this happen, which seems really, really bad. It seems torturous. Or I could do this, which is also seems like a really nice thing to do.
Right.
And I was like, well, this is logically what we'd want to do, right? And then Jonathan was just like, why would you do that? And I was like, cause blah.
Because I'm not a jerk. I don't know.
Because I don't want to be that type of person.
Yeah.
So so you and Yusuf talked about how switching the game modes to easy or easier, and I looked once we got off the podcast, I looked for that option. Is like, I don't see game difficulty anywhere. Where's the game difficulty? I figured out how you get the game difficulty. You have to die once and then watch the ending of game over,
the
whatever
Charon stuff and everything.
Yeah, and then he reses you for 6 play coins or something.
Yeah, 6 play coins were like a bunch of maca.
I don't remember.
That scene is so long. I hate it when I
see.
Yeah.
I had game over plenty of times, but because the scene was so long, I thought it was just the standard, like, game over.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, reset. And I was like, I'm not going to sit here and wait for this entire thing. So I actually sat there and watched the whole thing, and then I died a second time. And the second time that I died, you don't see the dude. You see his 2 assistants or 2 demons.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, hey, so you seem to be having some trouble. Maybe you want a game difficulty slider.
Yeah.
And I was like, so this is where it was at.
All right, I didn't even realize that's how that unlocked.
Yeah,
Man.
you don't get the game difficulty until you die twice.
God, that's so weird.
So, that's why I couldn't find it.
Oh.
And I spent I don't know, and I didn't want to look it up online. So I was stubborn. I was like, I'll just play through this until maybe it's like a thing you unlock with the points or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But so I didn't get much farther than that after your hometown in that game. The next game I played and beat was Evoland.
Oh.
And I don't want to spoil a thing about this game at all, so I'm going to try and tread carefully here. This game is a lot of fun, and I feel like if it's on sale on Steam and you like RPGs or games, any games in general, you should really just go ahead and get Evoland. It plays a homage to like a lot of games that the average gamer, I feel, would have played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the only complaint I can think of that anybody would have is that it's too short.
I have heard that, yeah.
It's such
How long is it? Like, how long did it take you to beat?
This is a good question. Let me check this up on Steam. I didn't 100% it. There's also a percentage. So I think I got like 80, 75, something. So, where is it?
Well, I just remember, like, whenever, like, the few of these indie comedy RPGs I've played, like, I've enjoyed them, but I don't think I've beaten any of them because they kind of put too much of that old school gameplay in with not enough new additions to it.
Yeah.
I don't think Evoland would have a problem with that. I had a hard time putting it down because it seemed to be like, it starts out really old school, and it really does a lot to drive you to be like, I need to get to this next part. I need to get to this next part. And it's just like laying down the cookie crumbs, and you're just chasing after it. So once it finally stops dropping those cookie crumbs, you feel pretty engrossed into the whole thing to beat it anyway. So, I mean, it's pretty good. I really don't want to say much about the game. I don't want to say what it's like, and anything about it, because I feel like all of that is just a spoiler.
Yeah, it's sort of the fun of Evoland is kind of the discovery of how it continues to change the game.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, oh, that's all right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't know how many hours it took to beat, and apparently Steam doesn't want to tell me how many hours I put into it. It just says, hey, you last played this on...
Like, did you beat it on, like, one weeknight sitting, or...?
I think I beat it in two days. I played it for a couple of hours on one day, and then I beat it on the next day.
So it's probably like 4 to 6 hours or something.
Yeah, it's not long, but at the same time, it's pretty good.
It sounds like it doesn't really overstay its welcome.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. There's a couple of moments in the game where I wasn't too pleased about something about it, but at the same time, it seemed to just fix itself. So I really think it's good. I really think that if it's on sale, because I think it's $9.99 just to buy it right now. If it's on sale, you should just buy it and play it.
Yeah, I think I saw it during the summer sale for like $2.50. I mean,
and that would have been a grab.
Yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah. I'd say if it's under $5, just grab it. Don't even think.
Yeah, I think it was Big Mackey from No Quarters who tweeted once. He's like, look, if you're thinking about buying a game and it's less than $5, just buy it. Who cares?
Don't even, just throw a couple of them in the cart and just pick them up.
Talking about the price of a couple bean burritos here. You know?
Yeah.
So, that's Evoland. And it's the only game I beat. But the next game I played was with a couple of my friends, and it's Torchlight 2.
Oh, yes.
I have never beaten Torchlight 2. And so the thing that me and my friends all said at the same time is that none of us had beaten Torchlight 2. And it's like, you get to a certain point in Torchlight 2, and then you're like, all right, see you guys later. We'll play this again, next week. Next week never happens. You meet somebody else who's like, hey, I haven't played Torchlight 2. Do you want to play it with me? And you're like, oh, I gotta start all over. And I finally put my foot down and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going to have to hit you up like once a week or something, and we're just going to have to do this.
Yeah.
We're just going to get through it. So, not much to say other than that. We basically got to the part where I've always seemingly stopped at. The snowy area.
I've only played like the first two. I did pretty much that same thing to someone else. I was like, I haven't played Torchlight 2 yet. And he's like, well, we'll go ahead and start again. And I got like 2 hours in. I was like, we'll play this again. Never.
I think that's how all these games go.
Yeah.
It's terrible because I want to beat that game. I'm driven now. I'm going to do it. And I definitely next week will come back and tell you that I've progressed further than where I was before.
So what class are you playing as?
I am playing as the Pyromancer.
They have a Pyromancer?
Ember Mage.
Ember Mage. There we go.
There we go. Sorry.
So what does the Ember Mage do?
She has 3 trees. There's the prismatic one, which is the one that I'm going towards, which is all about just spamming that.
Spamming rainbows.
Yeah, bolt. And the best way to build that one, it seems to me, is that you get that skill and then you max out all the brands.
Oh, right.
So the brands add like spell, like more ice damage to blah, more fire damage, more whatever, and you just stack all of those, and your prismatic bolt seems to build off of that. So that's what I've been doing. It's pretty awesome. I really like it. And yeah, I'm going to play Torchlight 2 this month, definitely, and come back with new things to say. The next game I played was Final Fantasy 13-2. I've started that game completely over for the purpose of my stream, so that way everybody can watch me go through it, because a few of my friends are like, I'm probably never going to play 13-2, but I want to see it. I know.
13-2 is so good.
It is actually really good. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do you guys all a favor, and I'm going to play 13-2 from beginning to end, and you guys can watch it. So I really hate the casino.
Yeah.
It is not lucky. I've probably tried to get that lucky coin now for a total of 15 hours consecutively.
I think how I finally got it, I weighed something down on my controller and I just worked for the day, and I came back and they're like, yeah, you have the achievement. I was like, okay.
I did that.
Oh, man.
And I haven't seen that coin yet.
Oh.
And I want to get it so I can move on, but I've been doing that off the stream because nobody needs to see that. I've considered having like another game running and then have that game just like in the corner right there, so way people can watch and wait for the lucky coin to happen while I'm doing something else. Maybe that'll be like a 2-for-1 deal. But I really hate that. I've caught my green chocobo, my medic chocobo, so he's probably going to be in my end game party. Oh, I bought all the DLC And for any of you who are curious, the DLC, to buy all the DLC, is more than the game now. The game's
Oh,
like
wow.
$19, and all the DLC is like 26 something.
That's rough.
So I just bought it. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy all the DLC right now.
What is it? A bunch of costumes and stuff?
There's costumes. Also, there is a free Sarah costume. So if you really hate the costume that she starts with, like I do,
It's pretty
get that other one. It's like a kind of like a I think it's like a black kind of punky rock looking outfit. So it's better.
Yeah.
So it's leaps and bounds better. But right now she's rocking the Commander Shepard uniform, and I've got a Noel. I always want to call him Noel, but it's Noel. Noel is wearing the Ezio Assassin's Creed armor. So I feel like I've got like Commander Shepard and Ezio just running the landscape, and it's made the game fun for me.
Man, I always feel so badly for 13 too, because it's a legitimately great game, and everyone's like, yeah, but it's a sequel to 13. It's like, yeah, but you don't whatever. Nobody understands anything from 13. Just pick up 13 too. It's great. It's got time travel. You can bring a cat with a little wizard hat in your party, and it'll heal you. Oh, it's so cool.
Well, you mentioned Assassin's Creed. First Assassin's Creed, arguably maybe not so great.
Yeah, a little bit rough around the edges.
Second Assassin's Creed, freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You can skip the first one.
Yeah, just
can
read
you
the
skip
Wikipedia
Final
entry.
Fantasy 13?
Yes. You should, and read the Wikipedia entry. No one remembers what Lassie and Falsey are. I still don't. I've played 2 of these games, so don't even worry about it.
I just vaguely understand what's going on. I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. Time travel.
Yeah, time travel, yay! Almost like Chrono Trigger, woohoo!
So, the only thing I've only resorted to cheating once right now in 13, too. Those clock puzzle things.
Yep, nope, screw those things.
I've done all of them without cheating except for one. And I knew it was coming up because I remember I had to cheat on this the previous time. And I was like, I don't need to know the whole solution. Just tell me where to start at on this particular...
Yeah, just get me started.
I know there's only like 1 or 2 solutions to that one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just tell me where to start and I can figure it out.
Oh, man. Those were so... I love that... I think it was a couple days after the game came out, someone made a webpage where you plug in like the first 2 or 3 numbers, and it just shows you the whole thing.
Yep. So
so tough.
I actually went to that particular site, and I was like, just plug it in. I plugged in all of them in there, looked at where the number 1 position was. I was like, I don't need the rest.
Yep,
I solve it. I could solve it once I got that.
It reminded me a lot of the last Ratchet and Clank game that came out for PS3, the full-time one. The Crack in Time, I think was the one where you could do all those puzzles where you're replicating Clank. It reminded me of that, where I'm just like, I don't understand the rules to this puzzle. Oh my god.
So that's been a lot of fun. I definitely need to finish that. I kind of stopped streaming on that because I was getting really sick. So apologies if you've been watching and waiting for me to continue, but I couldn't. So final game that I played, and I've played this game so much, and I am so excited about this game. Rune Factory 4.
Yeah, I'm very curious about what this is.
So, have you either of you played the Rune Factory games?
No.
Any of them?
I've only played one Harvest Moon game.
All right. So, Rune Factory. Let me just build the ground up here. If you've played Harvest Moon, you understand the whole purpose of Harvest Moon is, till the land, plant your seeds, grow. It's kind of almost like a very well-made Farmville for those who don't even know what Harvest Moon is.
Right.
So it's like a very well-made crop game simulator type thing. And usually there's marriage and dating and all that other stuff, wooing, friendships, saving your farm. So that's Harvest Moon, right? So Rune Factory is a branch from that, where it's like, okay, all that crap, all that crop stuff that you're growing or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All that crap.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. I yawned and I kind of said it wrong. All the crops that you're growing or whatever. That's really cool and all. Now we're gonna add dungeons and monsters and
Ooh.
crafting and all this other stuff. And the thing that I've figured out about this, about Harvest Moon and Rune Factory is, unlike most developers, where if you throw too much into a game, it feels kind of like there's too much, and maybe they needed to focus on things, or
either you're overwhelmed or it's kind of
it's usually overwhelming when you do that in a game. Rune Factory and Harvest Moon is like the complete opposite. If they go too focused in on something, I feel like it hurts the game. Whereas if they're just like, I'm just gonna throw everything in there.
Yeah.
That's better. You're asking about the PS3 one. The PS3 one is Rune Factory Tides of Destiny. Also called Rune Factory Oceans in Japan. Sorry, someone was asking. Rune Factory 4 is for the 3DS. So anyways, this game. The max level. Let me start with that. The max level is 50,000.
What? Is this Disgaea?
Yeah.
Disgaea actually caps out at 9,999.
Holy crap.
I am level 151.
Jesus.
I have been playing this game so much that I don't know how to put this in any other word other than this could be either the best Rune Factory I've played or tied for best.
Wow.
It's definitely the best one on the handheld. I love it so much. So the good thing about it is, like I said before, it's not so in-depth into one thing that you feel like, man, I really don't like farming. I really don't want to have to do it. You kind of don't have to. You could just go and fight in monsters and stuff and don't really focus too much on the farming aspect. But if you're like, man, I really care about farming, you can get like a magnifying glass and check the health of the land and start, really delving into that crop part of it where it's just kind of like, I need to check the health. Okay, so this quality's down. I need to, help fix the land, make it better, and improve the quality of the dirt. But if you don't want to, that's okay. Your plants will still grow. You can take it. And then if you want to craft and you're like, okay, so I want to take my crops that I don't really care about, but I'll make it into like really good items and stuff, then you can take it that path. And then there's a little shop. You actually have like a little shop that you can sell your things and barter them with the town's villagers and people visit, and it's not even like it's that big of a thing that you have to do. You could totally just throw it in the shipping bin and be like, man, I don't feel like standing outside and selling my wares. I'm just going to throw it in the thing and get whatever I want for it. Jeez. But if you decide to sell it, you could sell it for more. So then you can get your monsters, and you can have 2 monsters or 2 people in your party, or 1 person and 1 monster in your party. You can collect monsters, raise the monsters, brush the monsters. You can make friends with the villagers, and they'll fight with you. Each of them has their own special attack, move, stuff. I'm like, I love this game so much right now.
It sounds to me a lot like kind of a grown-up version of the Summon Night Swordcraft Stories series. I don't know if you've ever played those.
I don't think I have.
It sounds a lot, because basically those were focused on going into a dungeon and gathering materials to upgrade your armor and your weapons, because it was all this town of people that make armors and weapons, and then the more you upgrade them, the deeper you can get in. And I think I'm the only one that played those 2 games for Game Boy Advance, and I just love the hell out of them. And this sounds a lot like that, where it's like, oh, and I can do this too. I can go. Oh man, I can do all this stuff.
So then the other part of the crafting that I totally have not delved into it all. So you can make different types of weapons, and each of them feels different. Like you can make fisticuff weapons, you can make pole arms, one-handed sword, dual swords, long sword, all kind magic staves, and there's all kinds of spells. There's so many spells. I had to buy a bookshelf and start shelving spells on there because I'm like, I don't have enough room for all these spells. And then like you level up your different types of magic. So anyways, oh, you can also upgrade your magic. So if you're like, man, I really love magic, I'm just gonna go and grab some magic, and I'm gonna upgrade the magic and make myself like really strong magic. And I haven't done that either. But upgrading armor and stuff, when you kill monsters, sometimes they drop stuff. Like a woolly, which is like a sheep monster, will drop this little ball of wool. You can take that wool and use it as an upgrade piece to something you already have, like a shirt. And it upgrades your armor by like 1 defense or something.
Oh, man.
And you can really start building into that. The other thing that this game's about, which a lot of people are still trying to figure out, is the prince and princess system that it's called. Princess points, PP, whatever. Yeah. You actually like decree things that happen, so that way, like let's say you want to have a festival. You're like, I decree that there's going to be a festival. So you have to collect enough points, which can either be gained by fighting monsters, talking to people, completing random quests. Oh, that's another thing. So if, let's say you're like, man, I don't want to do this crafting system. I really hate crafting. I really hate farming. I don't want to do any of this. But you're like, you know what? I really like killing monsters, and I really like doing these festivals. You'll still get really cool weapons and stuff without having to do any of the stuff I just said.
Wow.
So you could be just like, bullocks to all of that. I'm just gonna do this. And what's really nice is that it seems that if you are a type of person who's just like, I only care about this one thing, you won't be disappointed and you won't be upset about it. You'll still have so much to do in the game. And if you only kind of want to look into some stuff, like I'm barely trying to figure out how to handle crops and make them better, but there's just so much.
Do you think this is a good entry point for people that are curious about Rune Factory? Do you think this is a good first game to play in the series?
Well, what's really nice about Rune Factory is that it seems that if you were trying to like cross over from like okay, so it depends on where you're coming from. If you're trying to cross over from like Harvest Moon to Rune Factory, and you're like, I don't know much about this battling stuff or whatever, I can tell you right now that because there's a difficulty setting and they give it to you right at the beginning. Easy mode is not even easy for a normal person. It's easy.
The easiest.
Monsters just kind of stand there and stare at you for like 4 or 5 seconds, and then they're like, oh.
Oh, there's someone here.
Flop you. Wow, you were right in my face. Some of the bosses are a little bit harder. It's kind of a weird curve. I did this to test out to see what was the difference between easy, medium, and difficult. Medium, that would be pretty much an average gamer's level. So I mean, the other Rune Factories didn't have a difficulty slider, so the reason why I'm saying yes is because there is a difficulty slider, and it's pretty forgiving. And there's just so much.
I might give this one a shot. I'm thinking
I think it's a good one for people to jump in on.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones, they have a lot of weird stuff. Like Rune Factory Frontier was a pretty weird one for people to walk into because it had this runey system thing, which was awful, and people don't like to remember about it.
Wasn't there one on the moon?
No, the Rune Factory Frontier is that one's for was it the Wii? And that one's all about you have to maintain the balance of the runes, little creatures, and I don't want to even explain it. It's awful. Really good game, but that system was pretty terrible for people to adapt to. Tony's saying Rune Factory 4 sounds like a grown-up Animal Crossing. So they gave this game a rating of E. Some people have been kind of upset because of some of the translations. They feel it should have been given a T. It's definitely more grown up and have like relationships. It does include some innuendos. There is some language, not no F bombs, but you know they like to say a couple of D words and just angry stuff. There's also definitely some. It was localized by Xseed, so the translation's really really good.
This makes me think of the original Transformers animated movie where they dropped like an S bomb and a D bomb, and it was rated like PG.
Yeah, and you're just like
freaking out in the 80s.
Yeah.
So like, give him a break. A robot ate a moon. Sorry.
well, some people have been upset about it, and I don't. It's not so much, but I can see if you were just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna buy this for my 5-year-old because it says it's E for everybody, and then they start, like the very first cutscene has them saying, you know, some very heated things. And if you're playing this game, you're not playing it for the story. By the way, you're not playing it for it because I'm gonna break it a little. The story's kind of friendship is good and everybody hugs. So it's
that's what E for everyone needs is friendship is magic because that's the story of like all of those games.
So yeah, it's not gonna be like this super serious type of game, but it's at the same time it's definitely I don't think it's something for a 5-year-old, especially when you start hitting some of the stuff where I'm just kind of like, this is kind of weird and a little scary. Yeah. This is a happy game. What kind of well, anyways, and it's not like super scary. It's kind of weird when you go from like really happy hugs and rainbows to what they went to. Right. So I bought this game and then I bought it again. So I bought it both digitally and physically because I was like, okay. I want it twice. That's how much I want it. I don't think I give this game a high recommendation. I'm not yet done with the game. So I've gotten way farther than most people have in the time span I'm in. I don't want to spoil anything. There are 3 story arcs. I have beaten the 2nd story arc, and I am waiting to get the 3rd story arc going. And to my understanding is that it could be random when the 3rd story arc happens.
Ooh. So how do you get to level 500,000?
This is a very good question. I have seen a dungeon so far. I have seen one dungeon where it's like a level 300 dungeon, and when the game says, by the way, you need to be level 300 for this dungeon, that means you need to be like 350 or maybe 400. Jeez. When the dungeon says, hey, you need to be level 30, if you're level 50, you might have some difficulty.
Weird.
Yeah, so
that's the opposite way you're supposed to do it.
So you could either play with the difficulty slider to advance the story, or you could do all the other things in the game. To my understanding, apparently you can grow dungeons.
That sounds okay.
Somebody said something like that.
Okay, I think I'm into this. Growing dungeons.
Sounds like some Odin Sphere stuff going on.
I don't understand, but they said that you can grow dungeons, so I haven't yet figured that out.
The dungeons in your spells or weapons? Like Disgaea or something?
Yeah.
So, Tony's asking if you level up by fighting, and your actual leveling, yeah, you actually level from fighting. I think that's the only requirement in this game, is that in order to advance the story, you do kind of need to fight. But if you're like not into the whole fighting thing and you're just like, I just want to I just want to play the story. I don't like fighting. You could set that difficulty to easy and just mow things down. I
Yeah.
actually tested this because I started a new file. I put it on easy. I ran straight to the boss, just killing everything along the way. Beat the boss, the first boss. So on easy, it was
Brain dead easy.
brain dead easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this game, and I really think people should give it a try if you're interested at all in it. Um, it is probably the Rune Factory I would pick for people to jump in on.
Yeah.
And I think that is all that I played.
All right. I only have 2 games this month. I've been working like crazy. First game I just got, and I am maybe 10 minutes into it. Etrian Odyssey Untold: The Millennium Girl is the title. Yeah. Seems pretty great so far. I'm very curious to get into this one. I've only played Etrian Odyssey 4 before. And Musum and I talked a lot about it on the show before. I'm very curious about the story mode in this one. This is the first one where it's not, dungeons and cartography, and that's about it. What else do you want? Apparently this one you get 5 characters, and they're a specific class. You don't really get to choose your class. It's more focused on telling a story about these 5 adventurers making a guild and going in, and still cartography, of course. But I'm kind of curious on that to see how they changed the series from. I mean, the classic mode is still in there if you just want to go in and pick all your characters and name them, name your guild and all that. That's still in there, but I'm really curious to see how they balance what the series has been about before, which is really making your guild and your party your own, versus telling a story, which Atlas typically tells very good stories. So, I mean, I'm curious. I wanted to play more of this, but then I forgot that I never finished Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, and Phoenix Wright 5 is coming out in a couple weeks, so I have to finish that first. So that'll be next in my 3DS after Phoenix Wright 5. But the only other game I've really played that's a RPG is Diablo 3 for 360. I finished. I don't know if we talked. I think we talked about that last month. And I finished a normal playthrough, and I'm almost done with the next difficulty, which is hard. No, nightmare, something, whichever the next one is. I'm not on Inferno or Hell yet. And I had to laugh. A lot of people were. A lot of console gamers were playing through Diablo 3 and played through just normal, and they finished it and they're like, well, that was okay. Alright, moving on to the next thing. It's like, no, that's not Diablo at all. Like, you haven't even really started. I mean, that's the tip of the iceberg. I really like Diablo 3 when you finish it the first time, because at that point you can sit down for probably 2 or so hours on the harder difficulties and just kind of clear out an entire act. And having it on the console and kind of sitting there melting into the couch and enjoying a Diablo game is really just the best combo that they could have come up with. So I really, really love Diablo 3. 360 version's great. I heard the PS3 version's just as good. And it just works. I mean, it's fantastic. And I have so many legendaries. It's amazing. The loot system is vastly improved over the original PC one. So feeling a lot better about the loot 2.0 system that they'll be coming out with on PC. It seems like it'll be pretty much the same thing. But unfortunately, that's all that I had time to play, so let's take our first break. Our only break, I guess.
Oh, man. I'm going to go try and wake myself up.
Okay.
And pray my internet connection stays stable.
Yep.
Alright, let's see how work is going here. Alright, no news. No news is good news.
That is good news. There are so many games coming out.
I know, it's nice. We're like, I don't know, there's 2 games coming at some point. Oh, did we get any tweets, I wonder? For those of you that are in chat, if you have any questions for the next segment, start getting them in chat and I'll start saving them up.
I haven't even looked into the online mode for GTA 5, but I feel really bad because I was playing GTA 5 and then I don't remember what happened, but then Rune Factory happened and then I was like, well,
goodbye other games.
There goes all other games. They just all went away.
I've never gotten into a GTA, but I really kind of want to check out GTA 5.
5 is really good.
5 is really good. It's the first time where I've actually like stopped doing silly stuff and actually played the story.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Alright, you guys ready for the second segment here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about RPG releases for October 2013. Rune Factory 4 for 3DS is out now. Obviously, since it has eaten Mina's life. Etrian Odyssey Untold, The Millennium Girl for 3DS is also out now. Pokemon X and Y comes out for the 3DS on the 12th of October. So, thinking about picking one of those up? I don't know.
X
is where it's at.
X is the one I'm picking.
I've never played a Pokemon before, but man, those reviews really make me want to grab this one.
I think the first one I really played was Diamond, I think, and it is surprisingly a really hardcore RPG. It is they are really quite good. Coming on the 8th of October, Disgaea D2: A Brighter Darkness. One of the most confusing game titles, but this is a sequel to Disgaea 1. Which is not Disgaea 2. So, it'll probably be great. So
I'm getting it.
Yeah. Borderlands 2, Game of the Year Edition. PS3, 360, and PC comes out on the 8th as well. It comes with all of the DLC except for the last one, the Vault Hunter Pack 2 that just came out. So it's $60, and that's a lot of game for $60. So if you haven't played Borderlands 2 yet, just go buy it. It's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Valhalla Knights 3, I think, for the Vita, coming out on October 15th. That's another Xseed game, so we got to give them their props. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut for the PS3, 360, and Wii U, coming out on the 22nd. Wii U, it has some crazy gamepad mode.
They all actually have it.
Oh.
I think the PS3 and 360 use it through like iPads and stuff like that.
Yeah, some smart glass business.
I don't know the details, but they. Oh wait, no, that's right. It was PS3's uses a Vita, I think,
Ooh,
and I think 360 uses smart glass.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Now they just need to do something for PC. Come on.
Yeah, guys. And the last game coming out, Ys Memories of Celceta, for the PS Vita on the 5th of November. Let's move into news stories here. Sega to purchase Atlas in November. They've announced that they are going to purchase... Sega Sammy will purchase Atlas Japan for 14 billion yen, which is around $141 million. Yay, that's actually... I know a lot of people are like, no, I can't believe... That's actually really good news, because Sega has a habit of buying people and just leaving them alone. So for Atlas Japan, that's a really good thing.
That's what we want.
Yeah,
it continues that way. When the Nintendo rumors started to fly about Nintendo picking them up, I was like, please no.
Yeah, that would have been bad news.
Please no.
Yeah, SMT5 starring Luigi.
Yeah, and we don't want... God, I don't even own a Wii U yet. Like, I'll eventually get one, but...
No, I want this thing on a Sony platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd much rather...
Some serious Persona action going on. Mm-hmm. Next news story here, Theater Rhythm Curtain Call was announced. This time it's going to have over 200 songs, way up from, I think, the 50 or so ones that came out in the first one, and they're still planning on coming out with DLC. So 200 plus whoever knows how many songs will come out across pretty much everything Final Fantasy related. They're coming out with songs from Agido, Type 0, Tactics. I mean, just pretty much anything that has Final Fantasy in the front or at the end will have songs in this game. So, hooray! They're also featuring a versus two-player mode, where sort of like in frequency and amplitude, you can kind of mess with the other players' lines. They showed in the trailer there was they were playing and someone was speeding up the other person's lines or like flipping the track upside down. It looked super, super cool. And they're saying that this is going to be the last Theater Rhythm game, which is surprising. I thought they would kind of milk this series, but they're saying, nah, we're good.
Are they like super popular?
I really loved the first one. I feel like not a lot of people played it because they were like, oh, it's a Final Fantasy music game. It's like, yeah, why hasn't that sold you? This is what we've wanted.
Is the one consistently good thing about all the Final Fantasies.
Yeah, oh, it's a rhythm game based on a series that has incredible music. Oh no. The only thing I think I'm a little disappointed in is that they never really put any NX music in, so no, Dragon Quest music, and a lot of that stuff is really good. So maybe they'll have DLC for it, fingers crossed. But I don't know. Super good. Day one. They better bring it over here because that game was super great. And the iOS version of the first one was actually really good. It was, the download's free and it comes with a couple songs, and the DLC was pretty reasonably priced afterwards. So, next news story here. Lightning Returns extended trailer at TGS. Mina has a note here, says, dress spheres, anyone? I hadn't watched this trailer until today before the show, and yeah, pretty much dress spheres, which makes me even more excited for Lightning Returns. Other than that, I don't know too much about the game.
I've heard from people who played the game that it feels like 10-2 is what they're saying.
Oh, thank goodness.
It feels like it's 10-2. You play as only Lightning, so you don't have other characters. And to my understanding, the outfits, you can equip something to the outfits, which makes the outfits have different stats.
Interesting.
So all of the outfits seem to be based on characters from other Final Fantasies like Yuna, Cloud, Aerith. So the outfits are very recognizable.
Man,
is this the game where they were? I guess this must have been the image I saw because it showed Lightning dressed up as Cloud. I take it that was
Yeah.
from this game.
Yes, that would
Oh.
be this one. I'm gonna say this right now. I previously I had been making fun of this game, because the story seems really bad. A lot of things seem really bad. But then when I started hearing people talk about how it's like 10-2, I was like, no, no, I swore that if ever there was another game to come out like 10-2, I would buy it. And I was like, well, no, I can't make fun of it anymore because I'm buying it.
Oh man, I just everything I keep hearing about this game is sort of at the same time really dumb, but also really great. In the way that I think I enjoyed 13-2 a lot because I could kind of ignore the story. Because it was like, oh, we're time traveling. Sarah is really dumb. And we're just, we're just changing the world. That sounds good.
Messing up the time.
Yeah. Next news story here, Shadowrun returns out for Android and iOS tablets September 26th for 10 bones. I haven't really heard anything about how this version is, so I'm sort of assuming it's kind of the same as the other one.
I haven't actually heard anything either, but the control scheme of the game, I think they built the control scheme more with a tablet in mind than a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Or controller. So it should be very touchscreen friendly.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking about picking it up on iPad at some point, because that seems like a really good lay in bed at the end of the day and play sort of game.
And they'll eventually release the Berlin DLC out for it, and they have already said that they're going to gather the best community mods and do like an iOS release of them. So.
Oh, cool. Well, that'd be nice. Next story, Atlas reserves a site which seems to be Persona related. It's a super teasery site that has a bunch of boxes and it's counting down and it's red, and in one of the very corners has the Persona team logo in it, and that just made me yay.
Yeah.
Yep. So on 11/24.
Oh, it's so
far away.
Oh,
I have that site open every morning, and I click those little 3 boxes because they bounce around when you click on them, and I keep thinking, one day when I click on it, it's going to pop up a picture or something, and it's driving me insane.
And it just says Persona 5, and yay!
I just needed to say that.
Yeah, I just needed to say Persona 5 coming out for PS4 or Xbox One, and I will be very happy.
God, that would be
Or
so nice
PS3.
if it actually was for next-gen consoles and not PS3 and Xbox 360.
I'll take it, because Persona 4 was very late game for the PS2, so... And that turned out pretty great, so I'll take it. Whatever.
I'm sure the game will be fantastic, no matter what platform it hits.
It's an Atlas game, so. Yeah. Next story here, Cosmic Star Heroine by Z-Boyd Games announced. They're making basically a sci-fi spy RPG. Z-Boyd Games are it's the company that made Breath of Death and the Penny Arcade 3 and 4, and they make modern 16-bit RPGs, of which I don't think I've played any of them, but they seem really great.
I own all of them. I've only played Breath of Death though, but I really want to check out. Like the Penny Arcade ones look like they might have skipped past the hangups I had with Breath of Death.
Yeah.
So, and this one just looks even better than those, like graphically and playstyle wise. So
yeah, and the Kickstarter for only $10, you get a digital copy of the game when it comes out. So seems like a pretty good price for what they're promising.
Yeah.
Deus Ex Universe announced. Which one of you knows more about this? Because I don't know anything.
They haven't said a whole lot. They were very ambiguous about it. But what they did say is we're making another Deus Ex PC game. We're doing a Deus Ex universe because we want a evolving world that you work in.
I like the sound of that.
So you're getting like a tablet apps, and you'll get like phone apps and all these different things that'll, I guess, interconnect with each other. They haven't said the word single player or MMO. So to me, it's kind of coming off on like how Ubisoft has been with like The Division, or like
right.
Destiny
like
has been.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it makes me wonder, like if this is going to be like an always online thing too,
Yeah.
which could be cool, but I really kind of want a single player choice driven experience out of Deus Ex.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm excited they're making another Deus Ex game.
Yeah, hopefully they just carry over choices. Hopefully universe means, we'll put out the Mass Effect series. Hopefully they just do that. Here's a bunch of games, and we're just kind of continuing from one to the other. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd like that.
I mean, they very much had a feel for what made the original Deus Ex great in Deus Ex Human Revolution. So hopefully they just continue that.
Yeah.
I'm just happy they're still doing something with the license. So.
Yeah, exactly. And the last news story here, we have PlayStation Plus. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is free during October. And there is so much RPG in this game that it is. I think I played 30 hours and I got maybe a tenth of the map unveiled. I mean, it is just monstrous, and free is a pretty great price. So, you should go grab that. Let's move into tweets here. Ivan Incubus writes in and says, do you think Atlas games will still rise in price now that their games are always available digitally on eShop/PSN? Probably in the short term, because I think there's still people like me that wants to have the boxed copy of a lot of games, so I think they still will. And it's a lot like Earthbound. Atlas games are going to be rare because they have to be rare, and they're going to be expensive because they have to be, because they're Atlas games. So probably in the short term. And eventually they'll probably stop making physical games, except for pre-orders.
They're pretty big on their physical bonuses too, so that always adds on to it.
Yeah, we had a good discussion about this the other day at work, where a bunch of us were sort of agreeing that most games, especially JRPGs, are probably going to move the way of how music is. Nobody really buys the middle ground of CDs, either by MP3s or records. I'm sure a lot of games are going to move into downloadable or these really cool, little bit more expensive packaged collector's edition kind of things. I think JRPGs are probably going to go, especially Atlas is kind of leading the charge, where you get this game, but you probably get a cool book with it, and this Etrian Odyssey Untold comes with a music CD in it that has special music tracks, like they did with Etrian Odyssey 4, where it's the music that they were like rough cuts of stuff and music while it's in development. So I'm assuming that sort of stuff's gonna kind of continue to happen.
Well, they're also really good about bringing down the prices of their digital content too.
That's true, yeah.
So they're good at working both angles of that coin. Like I think Persona 4 is like $10 off right now on Vita.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, freaking awesome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that's all the tweets we have for right now. Curtoni in chat asks, I have a question. How are you able to find the time to play games with everything that's going on, like work, social life, and other hobbies?
It's once a month for a reason.
yeah, exactly. I actually, for my RPGs, I've been gravitating a lot more towards handheld stuff. I can't really capitalize the TV a lot anymore, and I don't have a lot of time. I get home from work so late, and I leave so early that coming home and playing 2 or 3 hours of an RPG kind of isn't possible. But I can lay in bed at the end of the night and pull out my 3DS or my Vita and kind of put in some headphones and play something in there. Maybe a little bit later than I should, but at least I'm laying in bed playing Etrian Odyssey or whatever. So that's really the only way that I find time to play RPGs nowadays is handheld.
Yeah, I usually get 1 or 2 evenings a week where that I can really spend playing a game, and that's my best bet. Sometimes I'll play a handheld a bunch before work, but I just haven't. My heart hasn't been in it lately, so I haven't been doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just get it where you can, and if you can't get it very often, then you're probably going to select a game that has a story that doesn't require a lot of attention to.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of do things a little unhealthy, is that I tend to push some things aside. Like I should really work on my other hobbies, but I tend to not. And for my social life, I'm usually streaming, so a lot of my friends are usually watching, or we're chatting,
or you're playing the stuff together.
Playing the stuff together.
Yeah.
So it is my social life. There's no way to get around work though. Work has to happen, and then sometimes during breaks, if I'm like really dedicated to a particular handheld, I might just skip lunch and play games. Like if it's Rune Factory. I mean, yeah, and I think that's something that's the reason why I think most of us now play a lot of the games on easier difficulties, is because we just don't have the time for it anymore. It's not because we don't want to, I don't think. Well, some games are too hard, but
that's the reason I played SMT4 on easy. I just wanted to finish it. If I'm playing on normal, I probably wouldn't have had the time to. I've been fusing for weeks.
So a lot of our game time is just trying to find ways of making it fit into our schedules.
Yeah. Our only email we have this month is from Richmond C. He says, greetings to the PUP trio. Greetings.
Salutations.
A game series is convenient to play because of the familiar and most often improved mechanics over each successive game. The best example for me being the Pokemon and Persona series. Can you list your top 3 game series? Also, do mention if there are games in the series that should be avoided at all costs. Cheers. Persona you already picked, and I would say skip 1 and 2.
So I'm tired. So the question is we're supposed to pick our favorite franchises that have improved on their game mechanics significantly.
Yeah, and he wants 3, and I'm not sure that that's even really possible.
That's really Mass Effect. I guess that'd be the most obvious one.
Yeah,
one of the most.
And I don't think you should skip any of those. There's only 3 of them.
Oh, are we supposed to skip the beginning entries? Is that part
he's
of the
just saying if there are any that aren't good. If you can say play Final Fantasy, but skip 2 because it's really bad, and then skip, whatever else.
The Elder Scrolls games have all made leaps and bounds. Every single game.
Yeah.
You could argue that they're the same thing, but then if you go back and play them, you'll be like, wow, this used to be way more complicated.
Yeah, if you haven't played Elder Scrolls, though, I wonder where you could start, though.
You have to start on. I think you might be able to get away with Oblivion, but you're gonna have to accept that you're playing an old game.
Yeah.
I think mechanically, it's very playable. I think story-wise, it's fairly boring. I don't know. You might just have to start at Skyrim at this point.
I kind of would love to say Dragon Quest, but they're all kind of the same game, not in a bad way. I mean, they're all very good, but they're all the classic Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior games.
They're all pretty good. I gotta agree with that. I mean, I really love each and every one of them for different reasons.
Yeah, the only one that seems to be the black sheep of the series is 7, but just because it's so unbelievably long.
Man, this is hard. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think.
I keep thinking of some, but the problem with the ones that I'm thinking of is that not all of them released over in America, so it's kind of like, well, I can't really say that. For example, Earthbound is actually part of a trilogy. The first one I don't think came over here.
No, that was the NES one.
And that one, it's basically Earthbound, but not as polished and not as good as Earthbound. And then the third one, which I'll never see over here, is really built off of the second one, Shoulders. And the reason why I think the third one's really good is thanks to the second one.
Yeah.
So that's one where it has taken a good progression, and I really like that.
You know, the other hard part about this question for me is like there are like 5 or 6 franchises that I just repeatedly, if you haven't been able to tell by listening to this cast, play over and over and over again. So like all my brain does is go to all of those franchises.
Yeah.
So my answers are probably pretty predictable in that sense.
I would actually, I'm actually going to take a Final Fantasy offshoot and say Final Fantasy Tactics, but recommend Tactics, the original Tactics on PlayStation 1. The PSP version's fine, but I loved the original too much to kind of deal with the PSP's things. And Advance 2. Advance 1 is fine, but I don't feel it's as strong as the second one. The second one is just an outstanding game, chock full of so many good things.
I really like Advanced 1 just for its super depressing story.
Yeah, well, it's also really simple, too. You know, if it's kind of a really good starting point to the strategy RPG genre. You know, almost like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest is a really great starting point to Japanese RPGs. You know, Advance 1 is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I wish I had my collection here. I feel like I'm missing something.
All I have in front of me are my PC games. I'm all like, Baldur's Gate? Well, no, those are really almost identical systems in both games. So
the Tales game has really evolved over time.
That's true. That's a really good one.
And also, oh crap, it's right there and it's gone. No, come back.
I'll pick Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. I have the unpopular opinion that Chrono Cross is really good.
It's better. Well, I'm the only one who will say that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a little bit less than Chrono Trigger, but Chrono Trigger might be my favorite game of all time, so naturally. Chrono Trigger is really, really great. If anyone listening to this show hasn't played it, please stop doing whatever you're doing and go play it. Chrono Cross is really, really great when you appreciate it for what it is, and I think it was a victim of its time. I think we've talked about Chrono Cross a lot. But Chrono Cross is really a victim of its time, where it's like, all right, another Square game. I love Final Fantasy VII. What is this game? Huh?
I think a lot of people walked into it wanting it to be Chrono Trigger, and when they walked into it with that mindset that, like, this is going to be Chrono Trigger 2,
yeah.
And you walk in and it's not Chrono Trigger 2, you're immediately like,
wait, this isn't Chrono? What's going on here?
This isn't the game I wanted. So,
this makes me want to.
I feel bad for that game. No, it's fine.
This question also makes me want to be like a troll and say something that I don't necessarily believe, just to tick people off. Like, Fallout 3 really evolved the hell out of Fallout 1 and 2. I mean, those first two were just so bad.
Oh man, I love Fallout 2.
They're all great games.
Yeah, Fallout 1, I think, is removed from the time period it came out in. I think is near impossible to play at this point. 2 is probably getting more and more difficult every year, but yeah, 3 and Fallout New Vegas are great.
Yeah, I love the Fallout universe. There's always so much controversy around those games, and with Wasteland 2 coming out, it's like almost bringing that controversy out again.
Oh man. But I mean, you almost have to say the Final Fantasy series too, because they've kind of all evolved. You could ask 5 people and get 10 different opinions of what's the best and the worst game. You know, like, I love Final Fantasy 12, and everyone's like, "How dare you? That's the worst." I'm like, "But no, wait, it's really good."
Well, and like, people can make fun of Final Fantasy all they want for spiky hair and androgyny, but the simple fact is every Final Fantasy is innovative.
Yeah.
Like, they don't put one of those out without taking a chance, like, visually and mechanically in some aspect.
Yeah.
They do always try to do something different. That's the one thing, is the battle systems are always somehow different. Mm-hmm. And so if it doesn't click with you, it doesn't click with you, but
yeah, but
someone
at least
out
they try
there,
something different.
Right. So,
and getting that out of a AAA, getting that out of a AAA franchise is kind of
25 years old. You know?
Yeah.
So I can't think of really any other franchises.
I'm sure there's like a billion. Like, I'd love to say the main Shin Megami Tensei series, but all I've played is Nocturne and 4. You know.
Yeah, that series goes back to the Famicom. Like, I don't even
Yeah.
know how accessible some of that stuff is.
Yeah, I tried playing the ROM of the first one once, and yeah, that's it's Etrian Odyssey without the map editor. You know.
Crap. Pull
uh,
out your graph paper.
yeah.
For two of the ones that I just thought of are Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2,
Ooh, yeah.
where the first Dark Cloud it was okay, and then the second one just took it to
Yeah.
places where I was really happy with.
And then go play Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
No, Rogue Galaxy, sorry. Because it's
And
pretty
then,
much the same game.
Yeah, and then the other game is probably the Paper Mario series, where it's just
Oh, yeah.
it took steps where I really, really enjoyed how each one just slowly got better and better.
Yeah.
And I think those are the only two that I can think of now.
All right, well, thanks for sending in that question. That was good. We got to talk a lot more about a lot of really great series.
Yeah.
That's our episode. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at pickingupthepixels.com. Email us at pickingupthepixels.com. Tweet us at pickingupPixels. The wouldn't fit in there. It's too long. You can listen to Musim's show, the Carousel Podcast, at thecarouselpodcast.com. And if you like his music, you can go buy it. It's very good and very reasonably priced at listentomusum.com and musum.bandcamp.com. You can find Mina at minakorocket.twitch.tv? Twitch.tv/minakorocket?
Yep.
The second one, okay. Minako Rocket. Anywhere else?
No.
All right.
Just on the forums.
Yeah, and the forums. Don't forget to join those.
And be sure to post on the forums this week, you guys.
Yeah, we like you guys posted on the forums. You can listen to my two other shows, TVGP, where we talk about all of the video games at tvgp.tv, and dynamicsoundtrack.com. If you like RPG music, which you probably do because you play RPGs, head on over there. I did like 38 episodes of that. It'll be back someday, whenever I get some of that mythical free time back. But that's our episode. Thank you very much for joining me again, Musum.
Thank you for having me.
And Mina.
Thank you.
And our adventure continues next month. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us live. Some familiar faces, especially people joining us from TVGP. We'll see you all next month. Bye.